Okay, the next step in getting the DX6 ready to use the Sport Cub is we got to bind it. So I've got my bind plug here, always remove before use, and I'm going to just plug it into the bind channel. Okay. Remember that this has the servos down here have a very short lead on them, and so there's the bind plug into the bind data channel, which is the first channel next to the throttle, and I'm just going to leave that sit right there. So while that's in the bind mode, I'm going to turn the aircraft, I'll get set up to plug in a battery, and we'll bind it. Okay, so the next step in the process is to plug in the battery. That'll start the receiver in bind mode. Now I have an extension cord here connected to the other side, so you can see me plug it in and watch that thing flash. So once I turn this on, that's going to start flashing, say it's in bind mode. Then I'll grab my receiver and hold down the bind button. Okay, the bind button is here, and so I'm going to hold down that bind button and turn it on. And in order to do that, you want to be 18 inches, maybe 3 feet away, so you're not going to see both of those on the camera angle. So I'm going to plug it in, I'm going to take the radio, hold down the bind button, turn it on, but it's going to be off camera, 3 feet away. Okay, so here we go. So first thing you want to do is also make sure that the throttle is idle. Always do that when before you plug in the battery. So here goes, plugging in the battery. Okay, that little thing is flashing. I hope you can see it. I'm going to hold the bind button down, walk away a little bit, and turn it on.
DX6 22 milliseconds. Bind complete.
Okay, I don't know if you could hear that, but the radio was talking, saying binding DSMX 22 milliseconds. When it said, after it finished saying that, I let go of the bind button, and it said bind complete, and you heard the good tone saying we're armed. And so this is an armed aircraft. You don't want to touch the throttle. So now that that's bound, the next thing to do is unplug it. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug it, and I'm going to turn the radio off. And the next thing, always remember to do, is remove the bind plug. So bind plug is now out, and the binding is finished. The next clip I'm going to show you next is to attach the wing and make sure all the servos are working correctly. Okay, we're ready to test the aircraft with the DX6 radio. Remember, all we did was some basic setup. And so the first thing I'm going to do is turn on the radio. Got my battery ready. And so it's on the Sport Cub channel, which we were using, Sport Cub model, model number 3. So now that that's up and working, the radio's on, lights are on. Plug in the radio, plug in the airplane. Okay, there's a good tone. And so the first thing to do is to, the wing is just sitting here loose. I haven't tightened it down, don't really need to here in the shop. But it is plugged in, so the first thing I'm doing is going to test the aileron, make sure the reverse is correct. So, let me see if you can see that. I'm not sure you can see the right aileron. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to move the aileron stick to the right, and the right aileron over there is going up, and the left aileron is going down. So right aileron is up, left aileron is down, the left aileron is up, right aileron is down. Elevator. Pull elevator stick back and it goes up. Down it goes the other way. So up. You notice these move because you can't do, you know, exactly straight back and forth. And the rudder to the right, rudder to the right, rudder to the left. And I'm going to stand up here or move around here, hold the aircraft just to make sure. I'm going to hold the aircraft to make sure that the throttle is going in the correct direction. And it is. So the throttle is working. I can feel the wind on my hand. So that completes the initial setup of the DX6, and everything tests okay. So in the next video you'll see more details about the DX6 setup. Thank you.